after each session, the sessions are recorded. You'll get access to a copy of the recording, and you'll also get access to a copy of the PowerPoint slides, as well as be able to watch the videos. Usually I put a whole lot of detail in my PowerPoint. So going forward, you'll probably have a lot more than tonight. But I didn't want to overwhelm. I didn't want to screw you all off. And I wanted you to be able to interact and ask questions. So the key takeaways from tonight are going to be how to set the right foundation for your business. If you don't have a business entity, or a structure that is an LLC, a corporation, or something like that, we're going to talk about why you may want to have that. And we're going to talk about how you can have that. You got to have the basic foundation if you're going to build something strong or on top of it.
Yeah, so let me jump in and get to your asking a minute ago. No. I think it's an important point. This is something I believe in really deeply, and it's something that I had to think about once I had some experience when it came to money, making money, whatever that means for people. I mean, first of all, it's kind of funny. People laugh when I say I don't care that much about money, and
because most millionaires don't.
Well, that's the thing. I know some that do. I know some that care too much about money. I care about money because I want to have enough money to not have to care about money. So what I found actually was that money was like the way you look at a bathroom. Bathrooms you don't spend your day thinking about the bathroom, right? You're not just sort of fantasizing about being in the bathroom. But if you really got to go to the bathroom, then that kind of changes things. The bathroom suddenly, for that moment, becomes the most important thing in the world. So if somebody says, if you really got to go and you say, and they say, well, what are you doing? And you might say, well, all I can think about is finding a bathroom. I got to find a bathroom. I must find a bathroom, right? It doesn't mean that you spend your whole life all the time obsessing over bathrooms. It means that at that point you have a need, right? So money is a need. And what you see in the Black community is that because we don't raise our children to think about money and how to make money, where money comes from and all that, we see them spending their whole lives almost like drug fiends, trying to fulfill that need. I need money. I'm gonna go sleep with somebody so I can get some money. I'm gonna rob somebody so I can get some money. I'm gonna go twerk so I can get some money. Whatever it takes to get money, like people are doing that. And it becomes very degrading actually when you're trying to get something and you don't actually know how to get it in a way that will be consistent with your values and consistent with your dignity. So having different skill sets in terms of what it takes to make money is incredibly important. In fact, when I was talking to a mother, there was a mother that came up to me, and she had a 7-year-old son, and she'd heard, one conversation I had. I think it was a speech I gave where I was basically saying that one of the biggest struggles of the Black man in America is economics. That's why I think Black women are very stressed out and disappointed with us because we're not able to provide some of the things that I think men are supposed to provide. And I said, we don't want to raise boys like that. We don't want to raise them all playing basketball and football and rapping and all that. We need them to know how business is done, how investments are made, how capital is formed, how money is obtained, right? And so she said, well, what do I do? What do I do? And I said, well, one of the first things you can do, and this relates to the Black Millionaire Factory and what we're going to cover in this program, is you need to give him an arsenal of tools that will allow him to go get the money that he needs so that he can get to the point where money doesn't matter because he's got that taken care of, right? So one little tiny thing that I think every parent should do outside of that most of our parents don't do is I'm gonna ask you guys this question. When you were little and you said, Mama, I need some money, or Daddy, I need some money, what did they usually tell you? What do you think, Nicole? What do most parents tell their kids when they say, I want some money to go to the mall? They'll say, you better get a job. You want to have money, boy, you better go get a job, right? Well, don't just tell your children. Right. So don't just tell your children to go get a job. Teach them how to go create a job.
I'm a different kind of parent. And
well, let me tell y'all about Nicole's family. Nicole's family had three sisters or 4 sisters that
were I have 5 sisters, but the 4 that are right under me were all valedictorians.
Yeah, so that's not, y'all not normal. Y'all got all that Black
excellence. We come from working parents. My dad's an electrician. He works in a factory. My mom was a stay-at-home mom until she started a business, and then now she went back to college after her kids did. and got her degree so that she could be a therapist. But I don't come from money. The generation before me they're not millionaires. They're not well educated. And so,
No,
but my parents gave us the tools. My dad told me, I can't put eight of y'all through school, but I know that you're smart. So if you're an A student, I'm going to give you what you need to be successful so that you can get the scholarships and go to college and learn what you need to learn.
right. Well, so you didn't come from money, but you came from wealth, because most wealth is not money. And I think it's also interesting that if your family produced four valedictorians out of the same family, and think about this. This is one of the things, symptoms of what's wrong with our community is, if they had produced four NBA players, that would have been national news. If they had produced four boys and went to the NFL, that would be all over the place. If four of their children had become rap stars, then that would be a big deal. They produced four valedictorians, was like, yeah, that's nice, right? But that should be the thing that we're talking about, right? So part of that is not just focusing on the right things, but also when you talk about money. And the one thing I told this mom that was very simple is I said, teach your son ways to make money that involve systems and not just labor. The way most people make their money and they think about money is they say, okay, if I make $20 an hour and I work 20 hours, I make $400. If I work 30 hours, I'll make $600. If I get $30 an hour and I work 30 hours, I get $900, right? They're doing that straight math where you're trading hours of your life for additional income. And I said, there are people out there who don't even teach that to their kids. They actually take time out of the equation. So they don't teach them, $30 an hour for 30 hours gives you $900. They might teach you sell 30 units for $30 and you'll get $900. But the same way you sold 30 units, if you use technology, you sell 1,000 units. Now you've made $30,000. And there's no time variable in any of that conversation. There's no amount of time you're supposed to work to make $30,000. It can happen in a split second. So you get like that young lady, Super Scent, who was in Essence magazine because she did her product launch and made $1 million in 90 minutes, right? So ultimately, what we want to really focus on are all the different ways that people make money, so that when you set up your system and you teach your children to set up systems, those systems will actually generate far more revenue and opportunity than your labor ever could. Labor will kill you. Systems can live forever. So that's
what I was saying. And so that was one of the things that I was intending to hit on. We're going to talk about, I put in there that we were talking about business mindset and the millionaire's mindset and how it's different. My son is actually logged in and he will tell you, he came to me not once, but on 2 different occasions, and he's young. He's 24, still relatively young. And he said, Mom, I need some money. And you hear the old adage, give a man a fish, he eats for a day, teach him the fish, he eats for a lifetime. On 2 occasions, I've told my son, I'm going to give you a business. I've set it up. Here's your LLC. Here's the business plan. Go. Or, you said you wanted to do this. What is the thing that you needed to do this? I'm not giving you $30 to pay whatever or buy whatever. What I will do is invest that $30 in a program that's going to teach you how to run your business, or that's going to, teach you how to make the best product or best service that you can go and sell, and how to do it efficiently. And that's what I was saying earlier. Your business doesn't always have to be an online business, but with the tools that we have nowadays, having the internet, kids can be millionaires. You can earn more than your parents as a kid after your homework and chores. And I say after your homework and chores because if you under the age of 18, you still are not grown. Not right. In my house.
let me throw one thought that I want to toss out there too is, when we were talking about this whole thing about figuring out ways to make money in systems, another thought that you spurred when you just made that comment, Nicole, is even with student loans. The student loan crisis is kind of crazy. And actually that's what's zapping away Black wealth. That's why
Black women are the most educated demographic, meaning we have the PhDs, 2 PhDs, a PhD and a JD. And I mean, we are very educated, but we also have the bulk of student loans and student debt.
Yeah. Well,
we're not getting
Well,
And working on the plantation, you're not, we're not you don't see a lot of us, in the C-suite.
well, let me just say that too. That's the problem. People are trying to pay their student loans off by working them off, which makes you a sharecropper because you're paying, you'll see people that'll be like, I paid $1,000 a month on student loans for the last 12 years and my balance actually went up, or whatever, right? You see these stories all the time. So that's a sharecropping type situation. Remember, sharecroppers had so much debt that no matter how hard they worked the fields, they never got out of debt. They would just go deeper and deeper in debt, even if they were working hard. So you don't want to be put in that sharecropper position. So what I tell people about student loans, for example, is I say, think about it in a couple of ways, right? You can think of it as, I'm going to keep this job making whatever money I'm making and pay debt for the next 30 years and still maybe die in debt, right? No positive net worth, no nothing. Or I can find ways to accelerate my income streams so that I can knock out the student loans a lot faster, right? That's the solution for people that are buried under a lot of student loan debt is get your skill set up so that you have the ability to add an extra $5,000 a month to your monthly income, and then you'll see that student loan debt wipe out really fast. Nicole, I'll let you go ahead and do your lecture. I'm gonna go ahead and stop talking now. Go ahead.
Okay, you're fine. No, because this is, so Tarsha was asking, what are the examples of systems, and she said, we're trained